I've heard you talk about risk. I wonder if you can talk more about risk planning, how to integrate risk within your process planning, how to address risk as far as ISO 9001 is concerned.
Sure. Well, there's all sorts of risks. For people who are in the automotive industry, they certainly understand that from the FMEA, writing down all the different processes and looking at the probability that something's going to happen. But if you're a small company, you have to think of the risks in several different categories. The external risk would be if the utility company cuts your power, if the water company stopped the water from coming in, if the city is tearing up your street, is it going to impact your deliveries? Little things like that. Snow, I mean, weather in the north, and of course Colorado. They've had a lot of it lately. Definitely you have to look at those risks. The bank that you're with, you might be dealing with a really small bank, and hey, guess what? They're going out of business, and you don't even know it. So you have to be looking at external risk. If you're a company that's owned by stockholders, that's another issue. If you're a company that's owned by a family, then you have to consider all the family members. So those kind of risks, you need to write down what could happen, and then what should I do to lessen that risk, mitigation of the risk. And so a nice little table that lists what the risks are, and then a list of what we do to reduce those risks, and then another table that says, do we think that's successful? Internal risks, of course, you've got health, you've got safety, you've got environmental, you've got your employees, you have the whole work environment thing. And really one of the biggest risks for companies is employee attrition. But one of the biggest things that I see when I go in and audit companies, they are having a hard time getting good employees. And so that's something that has to be considered. If you're going to expand your business, you have to ask the question, am I going to have enough people? So that also is an external risk, because you might be out in the middle of nowhere and have no base for employees. So you have to think about things and how you plan to bring them in. So that's pretty much it. You have to consider the external and the internal, make a list of what they are. And if you're confused about that, look at FMEAs, but also look at the 14,001 standard guidelines. They have some very good examples of how to list the hazards and how to look at the impact of things.